On this episode, I'm in Gary Vaynerchuk's and Vaynermedia's office about how to kick ass in life. So in honor of Gary, you think we can all sort of say it together. Hey Empowerment family, and welcome back to the Youth Empowerment Show.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. All right.
Come on, Matt, you're so slow.
Yeah.
I know.
So today on the show, we got Matt and Jeff.
Jeff Nicholson, I am the SVP of Paid Media at Vayner, which means that I run the division. So I'm responsible for media performance across all our clients. Currently have 75 employees, I want to say, as of today.
There you go.
And Matt's one of them, the worst one. But no, overall, I've been doing this for 10 years. Really love what I do, both empowering clients to make better decisions in their advertising needs, and then honestly helping, this is why I agreed to do the podcast, helping young people find careers that they enjoy and can be successful at.
Oh wow, that was pretty good. you gotta follow up to that.
I'll keep it short because we have not enough time.
Right.
Matt Guerin, work on the paid side as well. One of the directors here, working underneath Jeff. Have been here for about a year, and help more on the brand partnership side of things. So working with a lot of digital partners and making sure that we have the right vendors in place for any type of media activation we want to do. And then on top of that, vetting out basically any opportunity that Jeff sees interesting or something from that we'll thinking down the line. So trying to find emerging opportunities that will help the business overall.
They've already said who they are, so I won't get into that. But for those who don't know, Vaynermedia is a social-first digital shop that focuses on storytelling across platforms. They build creative campaigns from insights gained through micro-content they produce, ultimately driving action and business results. Their people aren't just the greatest asset, they're family. And Vayner's stellar ideas come from all the walks of life, and comedians, classical musicians, engineers, finance executives, really everybody. And they're all bound by the same passion to kick ass at their jobs. So guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to get started in just addressing really Vaynermedia and the whole brand at itself. Why is Vaynermedia and really the Gary Vaynerchuk brand associated with so much hustle?
I honestly think Gary is someone who believes in his hustle.
Whoa, no way.
Well, it says we're going to get Gary for a
Whoa.
We're doing a really quick test.
Oh, wow.
No.
Oh, this is a podcast?
Yes,
This is a podcast?
No.
He wanted you to sign the
Oh my
book
God.
today. Can you sign the book?
Hi.
Sign the book?
He also got your real Jets hat. He's a Canadian
Yeah,
kid.
that was
He's a
a
Canadian
good
kid. So
kid.
he wants
What's your name?
Daniel.
Hey, buddy.
man.
How we doing? Good to see you. How's everything going?
Whoa.
good. We're dressed out together. I like it. You got the t-shirt.
Gary.
Yo, I gotta get one of those though.
We're gonna get you.
That is amazing.
One of those.
Everything going good? Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Daily view. Wow.
Feels
Yeah,
good
you're
about
gonna be
service,
really
everything.
Awesome.
Trying to
Good.
kick ass for you. You've got 8
Wow.
all-star teams across the board.
Shout out to the Youth Empowerment Podcast. There you go.
There you
Wow.
go, man.
So you're welcome.
See?
Wow.
Welcome to the office.
Whoa. That was amazing. Okay, well, let's get back to it. That was.
So I mean, that was great timing. I think
Yeah.
the different thing about Vayner is that we don't have a lot of the pressures that a lot of other businesses have. So we really truly focus on our reputation and adding value to clients.
Yeah.
We're not about margin. Gary never asked me about sales. He asked me, are my clients happy? What are you doing to empower them to make better decisions tomorrow? And so I think he really shows through his actions and how he runs his business that he can back up what he says.
Wow. There you go. So you guys have been at it for a long time, and you said you'd like to empower youth. So sort of what's maybe your best piece of advice for youth entrepreneurs and maybe people that kind of want to start their own shop?
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice would come out of what happened to me, and the reason I try to help young people is that most of the time no one is going to help you. My first job out of college, I got sat in the corner in a corporate job, and no one came over to train me or help me or talk to me. And so I think the biggest thing people can understand is that it's going to be on you, and the only one that's going to separate you from everybody else is yourself. So in the effort and the hustle that you put in. I think finding people that hopefully do value you as a person and are invested in your career can happen, and that's why I pride myself on doing that for my entire team.
Yeah.
What yourself?
Work hard. I think that's the biggest thing. We have an office here. You mentioned hustle before. I mean, we take everything from our CEO. You see how hard he works on a daily basis. Up
Yeah.
at 5 a.m., work until 12 o'clock in the morning. I mean, he sets the tone for what the business wants to do. And I think if you look at the 75 guys around here, the majority of this office is 22 to probably 25 years old. They're all busting their butts on a daily basis here and making sure they're doing everything Jeff is asking them, and also taking that next step and driving more insight into other emerging opportunities for a lot of these guys. And we base everything on merit. So if you're willing to work hard, you can rise up very quickly. This is not a corporate environment where you have to spend 5 years under a manager. If you're smart, we'll push you right up the ladder very quickly.
So you mentioned a lot of things around the CEO, kind of just that mentality towards empowering everybody here. Mm-hmm. So then what's sort of the something that you've learned from Gary, and how have you applied it to what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things I've learned from Gary myself is just being comfortable with yourself and playing to your strengths. Okay. He preaches that a lot, but I think he really practices it every day. And it's not about ignoring your weaknesses. I still think people should focus on their weaknesses and try to improve and make sure that they have a well-rounded game. But the biggest thing he's helped me do is double down on my strengths personally and make those as valuable to my team and the company as possible.
I'd add in the community too. I mean, I think overall, this is the first company I've really worked at where I feel like everybody's got a really unique vision about what they want to do. And the fact that he spends at least 5 minutes with everybody here in the company when they come in is a testament to how he wants to run the business, and that he cares about the newest guy that's 22 years old as much as the guy that's an SVP in the room.
Yep.
And the 17-year-old that.
And the 17-year-old that just came in.
Exactly. She's probably more excited about it.
Yeah. Wow, that was amazing for me. I just wanted to say that. So then I kind of want to bounce then on sort of my intro, kicking ass. Kicking ass at life, right? That's sort of the motto here. I saw, ideas are shit at near the reception, and so how do we do that? Especially as youth, how do we kind of get started and start kicking ass at life?
Go ahead, man.
Do what you like. I feel like that's one of the most important things that he always preaches. Work in something you have a passion for, because you'll be willing to work at it a lot more. I mean, I actually worked under Jeff back in Boston for a number of years, and I quit my job last year because I absolutely hated it. And coming down here it's been really eye-opening, actually. Enjoying what you do and coming into work every day driven to do something more and to learn, I think, is the most important thing for young people. If you don't invest in yourself and things you like to do, you're get very bored very quickly.
But Matt, what if we don't know what we want to do yet?
Take a chance. Take a chance. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. Throw yourself in a situation you might not be comfortable with and learn from it. Yeah, there's a lot of things I've done that I had to learn from before I got to this point.
I would add that don't think that you're going to know right away, and understand that learning about something that you don't like is probably more important than learning what you do like.
Yeah.
Because why do you say that? Yeah.
When you start, to your point, right? How quick and easy is it to find the thing that you're passionate about? It's not. It's very hard, right? I got lucky. I fell into my job. I didn't even know my job existed 10 years ago, and then got lucky enough to actually have an opportunity and find something I like. So I think that young people should be pushing themselves to try new experiences, try them often, and understand what they do and don't like about something, and then try to find all the things that you do like and find that representative in one career.
I agree to all that, but sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people are afraid to go out and try the new things. So how do we get past our fears and sort of expectations from mom and dad and saying, screw you in a nice way, mom, and let me go find do my passion and do what I love. Right?
I think explaining to your parents what you're trying to get out of experiences can really help them understand why you're doing things. I think far too often young people go with the method of you don't understand me, so I'm just going to go do it anyways, as opposed to taking the time and explaining the fact that if you're going to take an opportunity that your parents may not appreciate or understand, if you spend a half an hour and talk to them about why you think you're going to learn something and how that would help you in your career more, further down the line, they probably will be pretty receptive. I find most parents that I talk to, even of my employees, they just want the best for the kids. Sometimes they just don't understand how to make that happen. And as a father myself, I try to think about that all the time.
And facing fears, I mean, you got to be able to face your fears. Gary just talked about this last week in one of his daily views. It's the one thing that holds everybody back. You got to look at something, and just because you're not comfortable in the situation doesn't mean you can't face that and start getting better at it. I wasn't good at public speaking for a long time. You have to spend a ton of time developing your craft before you get comfortable there.
I mean,
especially as a young person.
I used to say to Matt all the time, what does getting nervous do for you? Has there ever been an answer around getting nervous has helped you in any case? Probably not, right?
No.
Even if you don't know what you're doing, but you should at least try and just be comfortable. Hey, I'm giving this a shot, right? So there's no one answer to getting over your fears, other than just sacking up and doing it.
The other thing I mentioned to an earlier question about young youth and what they should be doing: ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's so many people who will be willing to help you that aren't expecting something in return. But if you just sit there and you don't actually ask those questions, it's amazing what people will do,
Yeah.
especially in our organization here that have a lot of knowledge that somebody else might not know anything about. I mean, asking those questions is important.
I mean, we've had a couple interns where I've had one intern came and actually did tours with every group in the building because they proactively asked for it, yet there's probably 40 interns in the building and only maybe 2 of them did that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, did all of them probably capitalize on their opportunity to some degree? Yes. Did others get more out of it than the other people? Absolutely.
And then, but how do we start, reaching out and getting this opportunity? I know I've done a little bit in getting in here, but maybe expand on how to reach out and ask questions, and the right ones too.
Yeah, I mean, I think, taking advantage of the things that are at your disposal. I mean, even I think about myself, right? I went to Babson College, which I think is one of the greatest institutions in the country, but I didn't take full advantage of the career services that they provided, or the college fairs that they provided, or even the workshops that they had for people to come in and do similar conversations that Matt and I are doing with you. I think most people just don't take advantage of the things that are at their disposal. I think the other thing you can look up is, I mean, today's world is so connected. I mean, we're a digital agency, so I'm going to use this. Like, how hard is it to find people on Twitter and Facebook that have similar interests to you that you can go talk to in your area?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, but how many people are actually doing it, right? So again, it comes back to that effort question. Like, I can't tell people how to have a good work ethic. I can just tell them that that's going to help them be successful.
Yeah, network your family too. Jeff's my cousin. I'll be fully transparent with you.
Yeah, wow.
That's how I got my first job with him.
There you go.
Network, find people. I know my own community back home in Massachusetts. There are so many families that we knew with very successful people, either moms or dads, who've helped me along the way, who've helped me introduce other people along the way. It's amazing. You don't have to really overthink this kind of thing long term. I like it.
Yeah, the real Jets,
That's right. I'll wear this for Gary. I'm really excited to talk about this skill set and the things that would help you be successful in today's marketplace.
Okay.
Because
We
a
can do
lot
that
of
right now.
yeah, no, I mean, for example, like Excel, right? I find that far too often top tier colleges even are not going into the level of depth that would help a young person be successful in today's current working world. They're far too concerned with some of the concepts and don't give you the tactical knowledge to be successful. I have some kids, for example, who are really good at Excel and are already on second or third base when they start here because of that knowledge. So I think, trying to make sure that you're picking out the unique skills that would help a youth be successful in the marketplace today, and one of those is going to be data. And the largest data platform on data is Excel even today, right? I mean, there's a lot of other engineering codes and languages you can use, like R squared, but Excel is the predominant format. It's like the language English, right? It's the dominant kind of space. I would say similarly, like, attack your weaknesses. As much as you're going to play your strengths, if you're someone who's not a public speaker, go force yourself to do a public event. Get your whole family in the living room and give them a speech. Do the little things that you have available to you that will help you get over some of those cliffs, right? If you have a fear of public speaking, well, you should have a better chance in front of all your uncles and aunts than you would in front of strangers, so start with that, right? I'd say the other big one is that is just to read. I find far too often people have gotten lazy and they don't read enough in the industry that they want to be a part of. They don't do enough research. Google is your best friend. So if you don't know the answer, before you ask a question, see if you can go find it first. Because I'm happy to answer anyone's question, but usually the answer is very easy to find. So those would be the 3 pillars that I would talk about.
Nah, but that's really awesome, and I guess it just goes along with just reaching out, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys and acknowledge you for coming on the show, and acknowledge you for hustling, getting to where you are, and empowering youth, and just being really kind of awesome people right here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.
So last few questions. Are you guys ready?
Go for it.
I'm gonna ask one right before, and then we'll get into it. Why is communication? I'd say for myself, I think communication is one of the top 3 assets a youth entrepreneur and somebody who's young can have. What do you think is?
Well, number 1 is being a good team player. I always look for people who want to help their teammate. You can be as competitive as you want, but you have to be a good team player because nobody wins by themselves. And then I think the other one is just raw talent and ambition. I hire kids all the time from college that don't know anything about advertising, and I'm okay with that because they have the raw skills and the raw ambition to try to do those things. So the 2 pillars I always look for are being a good person and a good teammate, and then raw talent and ambition.
Yeah, I'd say drive and honesty, which is very similar to what Jeff said. I mean, if you're willing to work and you're willing to take a chance and an opportunity, those are the type of people we always want in the room. And honesty, I mean, it goes a long way. No matter who you talk to in the world, no matter what you do long term, if you're an honest person, you'll get a lot further.
Yep. Question just specifically for you,
Sure.
Jeff. You said you mentioned you have a couple kids.
I have one.
One kid, sorry.
Okay.
If there's any lesson you can teach him from things that you've learned so far in life, what would it be? And maybe
I'd love to hear
I think
this.
you might be a little bit out of the shot here.
We'll send this to his mother.
Yeah.
I would the number one thing I want him to be is a good person. I truly want him to respect everyone, both his elders and just people his age and everyone that he encounters, and to be a good person, because I think that goes a long way. And I think as long as he treats everyone with respect and he lives by his reputation and his word, I'd be very, very happy.
That was a dad response right
Yeah.
there. That was
Send that to his wife.
Dad in training, by the way. He's only 1.5, so I got a little way to go.
And so I guess that kind of goes into this question. So based on everything that you guys have learned so far in your life, you don't have to address all three of them, but what's some truth that you've learned so far about life?
Oh man, that's a lot of things.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Communication, I think, as you mentioned, is huge. Being able to develop that skill set, I think, is one of the most important things for a young person. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of practice. But along with communication goes honesty. Along with communication goes hard work. Along with communication is networking. I think those are the core pillars for any young person, no matter what they want to do. Education is great. Understanding who you know and making those networks is phenomenal. But if you have the core communication skills, if you can get up and talk in front of somebody, if you can understand a concept and be able to actually kind of regurgitate it back to somebody else, those are the most important things to me. You can develop everything else, I think, internally from the agency standpoint.
I mean, I think the biggest thing I've learned, and I'm an old man compared to Matt, and I've been doing this for a long time, is that you get what you put in. I really truly feel very blessed to have the position I'm in, and I think I've worked really hard to get here, and I try to show that back to all my employees. And so I think that you really need to kind of give back to the new generation and the people that you encounter, because people help you get here. Again, you don't win by yourself. I truly believe that this isn't work is just like sports. It's almost always team. Excluding maybe golf. But like
You
you
got a caddy. Come on, yeah.
Right? So even still, right? You always need other people in your support system. So I'm a big believer in that. I think the other thing, and Matt said this a little bit, is that you're an expert in something when you can teach someone else. And I really have proven that over and over again, where I have, and not me personally, but using Ben Allison and Ryan Mason as examples where they've mastered their craft and what they do, and now they've shown that where they're training all our new people. And I've had that at multiple jobs, and I think it really holds true.
So this is the Youth Empowerment Podcast. So final question here. What is your definition of empowerment? Yeah.
Take that one.
Yeah, no, it's
That's a good question.
You take that one. I don't
That's a
know.
good question.
No, it's a
I
good
have some
question.
time to think about it.
Yeah.
I use the word empowerment a lot in
Okay.
pitching, and what I use it in regards to is data. So I always tell people that I'm going to use data to empower people to make better decisions. And so what I would say is that the youth empowerment movement, and what it means to me, is that you're empowering people with knowledge to improve their lives at a young age. And so for me, I hope that anyone listening to this and listening to you takes out of it one single pillar or multiple pillars that slightly improves their life.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
can't
I
follow
know.
up.
I'm about to
I'm
say
not
that.
going to follow up. Just end it right there. That was very good, Joe.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Well, that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Go Jets.
Yeah, go Jets.